Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Neville and welcome to Selective Imagery. I started taking pictures when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I really shoot just about everything. And here's some samples of what I take, whether it be sunrises, alligators, birds. It's what I do a lot of right now. But I also do macro. I'll do small animals, and I'll do street photography, and I'll use my old cameras to take some black and white photos with. So here's a sample of one of my cameras coming up. So I'm a generalist, but right now I'm focused a lot on wildlife and birds in particular. So I hope you enjoy my channel, and let's get right to the show. Welcome to celebrating my 100th video. Is this the end? Hello everyone, this is Jeff Neville for Selective Imagery. And this show is a special one. It's my 100th video. And I would have been willing to put down $1,000 cash in a bet that I would never do 100 videos in my life, never mind be on YouTube. But here we are, 100 videos in. And I know you're saying, well, Jeff, this is kind of a clickbait title. Is this the end? It doesn't sound too positive for someone who's celebrating his 100th video. And I can assure you it's not a clickbait title. I despise clickbait titles. I think it's totally unnecessary. I think people do it for strictly, obviously, to attract attention, to get the likes, to get the views, to get the subscriptions, to continue to monetize their channel. When I started my channel, it was driven by, and I've told this story a few times, the desire to finally share some of what I do, share what I get to see with other people. My motto, enjoy life, capture some of it. It means something to me. It's not just some catchy slogan. I really mean that. I try to get people that maybe were couch potatoes and watching too many sitcoms or reality TV to get off their couch, get their dust off their old camera, get out there and take some pictures of what's important to them, whether it be family photos. Make sure they bring their camera on vacation, take some pictures of everyone having a good time, taking pictures of nature that's right in their backyard, maybe getting into portrait photography or street photography or what have you. So hopefully I've gotten some people to actually get motivated enough to get out there and shoot. But after 100 videos, the reality is that, one, my subject matter is in the surrounding area, close to my home. And after a while, I would think personally that you could only look at so many pictures of spoonbills and great egrets and alligators, and after a while say, this is getting a little bit too repetitious. While I may continue to enjoy it, and I see something different every time I get out and shoot, trying to put myself in your role as a viewer, I would say, there's just not quite enough variety. And I'm not one that self-promotes. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I probably could have helped my channel out a lot more by getting involved with social media, which I chose not to. That's a personal thing on me. But then again, I didn't go into this to become a monetized YouTube channel. Now, unfortunately, doing a video once a week and the grind of doing that and the amount of time you spend doing that, I was almost putting myself into really working a full-time job and getting personal satisfaction from it, but no monetary rewards at all. I mean, that wasn't why I was doing it. But now I sit back and I say, listen, I've shared what I've shared. It's time to crank it down a notch. The reality is, there are things that are normal, everyday things that everybody else does, whether it be maintenance on their home or just doing some other activities that I've put off, that I have not done because I sit behind either a camera glued to my face or looking at my computer monitor editing thousands and thousands of photos, in many cases, to try to put content together. And I got myself in that rut, like I was putting together content as if I wanted to be monetized, when in reality, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I wouldn't want to deal with the monetization part of it. It's just not worth the effort, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is, where my channel is certainly not going to go away, I'm not going to be driving myself as hard to put out weekly content. So it's going to be, much more sporadic. I will put stuff out basically when I feel I have something I feel is worth sharing. And I take pride in what I have put out, but I think it's gotten to the point where it's a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. And I'm not a worldwide traveler, so I'm not going to be showing you pictures from Yellowstone National Park or Costa Rica or Hong Kong or anything like that. So I think after a while, you saturate you saturate your channel a bit, and I think some people don't know when they should hang it up on YouTube, and they just try to keep the hope alive, and they want to be monetized, and then they just create things to talk about, and in some case put together videos that are basically, in my opinion, not worth watching, just to try to remain relevant and keep things moving along. And I don't want to ever get to where I'm doing that. So I'm going to be, quote unquote, more selective on what I do and when I do it. So I hope you choose to stay subscribed to the channel so you do get notifications when I come out with new content. I'm just not going to do it on a weekly basis. I am going to, for now, continue to do the live stream in lieu of Chuck recovering from AP Studios from his medical condition. And I'm going to do that, as long as it makes sense for me to do. And I'll continue to do that on Saturday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And it's called Photo Talk with Jeff Neville. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's basically the same format as what Chuck was using on AP Studios, on Chuck Talks. And a lot of the same people are kind enough to visit on Saturday nights and keep the conversation going just about anything. So I thank you for your support. I hope you continue to stick around and support me down the road. But I am going to throttle back a little bit to do other things and do some things I don't necessarily like to do, like home repairs or whatever. But such is life. I have to make time for other things. So thank you all so much. Enjoy this video, and God bless. And I'm not going away, but I am, like I said, going to back off a little bit, and I will continue to do the live stream on Saturday nights. So I hope you join me then. And take care, and as I say, enjoy life, capture some of it. So here we have this gator looking at me saying, "Hey, I don't want to be in your 100th video, Jeff." Starts to swim away. Says, "Stop following me. Leave me alone. I don't want to be in your video." So you wonder, okay, where is it off to? Well, one thing the alligators like to do, and you'll see it in some upcoming still image and then a little video clip, is they like to stick their nose like right in front of the embankment, right up against the grasses and the reeds, because flounder like to kind of hide out in that area. They just don't typically lay out in the open. The gators will get them too easily, so they like to stuff themselves in between the grasses somehow. And this gator, you know, would wait here for several minutes, and without any, you know, activity or any movement, it would just swim, you know, another, say, 15-20 feet down along the embankment and then do the same thing. Here we got a snowy along the edge of the embankment. Great egret. A group of wood storks in the early morning with, I think, one spoonbill. Great blue heron. And here's a little blue. And there it is talking to me, saying the same thing. I don't want to be in the video. Snowy. And of course, my best pal, the barn swallow. And a video here of a tricolored heron trying to get some food. I like how they kind of get in stealth mode, and then they're inspecting their armpits, I guess. I don't know. They like to lift up their wings and look underneath. I don't know what they're expecting to find, but you'll see that movement quite a few times in this clip. There we go again. Everything's good under the hood. I like it when they get low like that, and there's the old wing check again. It's fun too to watch them because they can change direction so fast, you know, with their heads. And so far it hasn't been very successful in getting food, but then coming up shortly you're going to see it get a few fish. There we go, got one there. Another one, okay. I mean, these fish are like anchovies, you know? There's a little wiggling going on there. Here we have a short video just showing some wood storks with some great egrets and some tricolored herons. They're just hanging out in the early morning. not much movement. I mean, the wood storks, sometimes you get, pretty large groups all just lined up, and it's almost like, they're just frozen in time. They don't move at all. And here's a little fight going on between some snowy egrets, or one chasing off the other. Yeah, I love to catch these kinds of shots, and they're like the bullies in the neighborhood, as I always say, especially with their own kind. They just like to, say, this is my turf, you're on my turf, move on to the next block, get out of here. Some great egrets with a snowy and some tricolors. Eventually a few birds start wading in the water, and you can tell it's not deep over there. And then we get a few of them that are going to fly off here. They all seem to be looking the same way, looking for something. I'm not sure what. I think there was an osprey in a tree to the right, high up in a tree, but osprey's not going to bother these guys. And I always like to get my bird portraits there. I like the feather laying there on the ground. A little blue trying to get something. The gators just laying on this these grasses that grew on that little sandbar. Painted bunting in the tree. Cardinal. Some more wood storks. Great egret in flight. So we're going to have some bird in flight shots here, a few of them anyway. I like the lighting on this one, with a little bit of color in the sky. Like I said, some people don't like them with in the sky. I don't mind them that way, but then you can get a busy background, you blur it out. Went up to the nature center, and the only thing I found was this one hummingbird hanging around the feeder. Then I went to the straight road area. You can see a fish, I think, in the mouth on that black-crowned night heron. And it decides that it's going to take off. And here it comes. Here's a shot of two baby black-crowned night herons in the nest. And there will be a short video in a little bit of them trying to maul the adult to get food. Tell you, these babies are tough. As you can see here, I don't know that the adult has any more food regurgitated to feed these babies, but they're just like grabbing its beak and manhandling the adult, you know, trying to force it to give them some more food. And they've probably already had enough, but you know, just like when you have a cat or a dog, you know, especially a dog doesn't know when to stop eating. I think these babies don't know when to stop eating either. Finally, adult just has the ability, at least at this point, to walk away, get a little bit farther away from the young, and they're not able to follow. And there's a juvenile green heron. You can see the fluffiness onto the hair on top of the head, the white. They're nice birds, though. Here's a short video clip of the young ones now. You're going to see an area, I think, that comes out of focus, and I had to do a little trick, but I'm just going to show you. I didn't edit it out. It's hard to get them in focus, you know, when you're shooting through those grasses. I must have shown that in another video coming up then. I misspoke. A little video of the green heron here. Doing a little grooming. I think you need a haircut on the top, man. Here's an ibis. You can see a feather floating in the air to the left. It's walking down, and it's actually trying to get some food from underneath some of the bark. A little very, very short video clip here. I actually think there might have been some very small, believe it or not, some very small fiddler crabs that had crawled up part of that branch that it was trying to get. Here's the green heron. See, there's a little bit of a breeze. Now this is a juvenile yellow-crowned night heron. I see the juvies around a fair amount of time, but I don't see the adults very often. I don't understand why. I mean, you see the young, but you don't see the adults. I mean, occasionally you do, but I mean, not very often. I mean, the black-crowned adults you see all the time. You know, obviously there's one right here in the images you're watching right now, with a very short video of this black-crowned night heron. Beautiful bird. So coming up here we have another picture of a green heron, and then you're going to see some activity here with these snowy egrets. They're going to be getting kind of harassed. A little blue shows up and thinks it's going to take over the spot. Kind of pokes at the almost the same size bird, maybe a little bit smaller, the snowy, but it comes back, scares the little blue away, and can claim victory on this day. So it's happy. Another green heron picture. And sometimes you find something that isn't a bird. Now this was really fun to capture. Now this was and a bit difficult. This is handheld with the 600 in DX mode, and therefore that's why it looks so large in the image as it's building its web. And then you're going to see another clip of the same. We call this a banana spider, is what it's known by. It has a more technical name, but we're just going to call it the banana spider. And in here, of course, it looks smaller because this is in FX mode, shooting video. Just meticulously continues to build the web, and then puts those little bridge pieces in between the layers. And interesting to watch. It would have been nice if a prey item had landed in the web and I could actually get a film of it taking down a food item. But no luck with that, at least, unless I wanted to maybe stand there for a couple hours and get lucky. But definitely hard to, wasn't the best choice of lens to try to use for something like this, because you have to manually focus. The lens wants to focus on what's in the background, and you have to force it to find the spider. And you're going to have a few video clips here of a little blue heron who's in that transition phase with the color, molting phase. And this video might give you a headache because of all the reflections of the reeds and grasses in the water. Start to bug out your eyes after a while. Started like poking and looking through the reeds, and I mean, they will eat insects too, so it could have been looking for a tree frog if it could see a small tree frog, or more than likely dragonfly. Depending on the time of day, they like one area of the pond more than the other. We're coming up to the last video, which is kind of interesting. I mean, this was walking to the straight road, and there was this cardinal. And you've heard of leaf cutter ants, so I was going to call this a leaf cutter cardinal. And I was trying to figure out why it would be doing this, because it's not eating the leaf. And then the best thing I can think of, like here, where it's like kind of gumming it, like just chewing it, not spitting it out. I'm almost thinking that it's trying to get the water out of the leaf, the moisture out of the leaf, which seems to make the most sense, but at the same time, it wasn't far away from the water. But I'm sure maybe the juices in that leaf tasted better. So this is going to be it for this video. It was enjoyable to hit the 100 video mark. Like I said, never thought that would ever happen. And we're not going away, but we're not going to be quite as active as we were. And I hope you guys stick around and continue to support the channel. And take care and have a good one.